In the headline, Abuja residents rejoice as CBN breaks silence, says old 200 naira, 500 naira, 1000 naira notes remain legal tender till December 31st. APC national leadership meets new lawmakers to strategize on 10th National Assembly. Police declare Bauchi lawmaker wanted over culpable homicide. And on the foreign scene, death toll in Gabon ferry disaster rises to 6, with 31 still missing. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. And now the news in full. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, on Monday said that the old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1000 naira banknotes remain legal tender till December 31st, 2023. The Apex Bank's acting director of corporate communications, Isa Abdul Mumin, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. This is coming 10 days after the Supreme Court ruled that old naira notes should coexist with new naira notes till the end of the year. The highest court of the land had on March 3rd ordered that old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1000 naira notes remain valid till December 31st, 2023. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, on Monday said the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has no reason not to comply with the Supreme Court order on naira redesign on the excuse of waiting for directives from President Muhammadu Buhari. Still on the naira redesign policy, directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria to commercial banks recognizing old naira notes as legal tender has elicited happiness among residents of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Trust TV Kabir Lawal reports that long silence of the Apex Bank since the Supreme Court order on March 3rd has left the residents confused. The report.
Central Bank of Nigeria in a statement on Monday recognized the use of the old 200, 500 and 1000 naira note as a legal tender till 31st December this year. It is a sigh of relief for many bank customers who find it hard to access their hard-earned deposits in the bank owing to the CBN's naira redesign and cashless policy. Some bank customers said they are happy with the development, but government should avoid the kind of confusion their silence must have caused.
It's a good policy, but unfortunately it came late because people have suffered a lot. You know, you could hear people dying while going to get currency, while going to get cash, either at the ATM or the banking hall. It's quite unfortunate that despite the fact that many Nigerians, many we Nigerians have gone against this policy, and that CBN and with the Supreme Court decision almost close to a week plus now, and just yesterday CBN governor is coming out to tell the public that they can continue using the old currency.
Baba, I never collect you. I never even see this money safe. I still reason and share. I still reason them, but because why I still reason and be say, you know, say before if God talk, we go wait for president. Now president never talk, but CBN don't talk. Sure, but I still reason if now be the cocoa.
Some said that the people really suffered from the cashless policy implementation, adding that many were subjected to unnecessary hardship.
According to what I hear yesterday, they say CBN say make we use the old naira notes, and for the direction where we see where the thing they go, the thing no make sense. That means Nigeria know they move forward. Why it no make sense to me? Be say, I think say they have plan in the initial stage of introducing the new currency, but now coming in direction of stopping the old currency, bringing the new currency to come in existence. Unfortunately, yesterday night they said we should go back to the old currency. That means I don't see the government, whether the government have any good direction.
They are taking us back. Since they have already taken it out, let it remain out. The way forward is just to make sure that the new currency is being printed out more so that it will just circulate. I didn't succeed with getting money because everywhere they locked the gate and they are saying they are giving old currency, but yet there was no money. And I've been there for over 2 hours, so there's no need. I have to go back.
The Supreme Court had on March 3rd ordered that the old naira notes remain legal tender till December 31st.
Despite the Central Bank of Nigerian directive to make the old currency a legal tender in the country, People are finding it very difficult, especially at the ATM machines, and they complain to us that the machine is not dispensing the new or the old currency, making life difficult for them. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
The leadership of the All Progressive Congress has met with senators and members of the House of Representatives elected on the party platform to begin consultations and negotiations ahead of the selection of principal officers in the 10th National Assembly. Despite the fact that meetings like this are often arranged to zone offices in the emerging National Assembly, the leadership of the party would have Nigerians believe that the issue was not discussed. A glaring absentee at the meeting was President-elect Bola Tinubu, who was represented by the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima. Kende Amodu reports.
History is a great teacher. The rancorous emergence of the leadership of the 8th National Assembly is etched starkly in the minds of members of the All Progressive Congress, and so the party is starting early to set parameters ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in June. APC lawmakers-elect arrive at the banquet hall of the presidential villa for a meeting. It is the first interface of the elected APC lawmakers with the party leadership since their victory on the ballot and after receiving their certificates of return.
It is also my hope and prayer that the 10th Senate and indeed the 10th National Assembly as a whole will jealously guard and protect the constitutional provision of separation of powers.
This is the first time in the history of our democracy that we're going to be having representation of the floor through this high number of political parties. But the good thing about it is it will foster better and greater negotiation.
As the APC begins to fine-tune the process of electing principal officers that will steer the affairs of the parliament, all things are being kept under wraps, and the party is downplaying the politics of zoning, which will determine who gets what in the emerging National Assembly.
If APC decides to zone just to give a balance and to give every segment of the country a sense of belonging, it's good. Some other party might decide not to and say winner takes all. For us, the most important thing is having Nigeria as a single entity.
Yes, we're not there yet. We have another election coming up this weekend, and we need to make sure that everybody goes back home. Roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty.
It's a family affair. This is not the right time to talk about zoning. All we need now is to consolidate on our victory.
Members of the National Assembly should produce their leadership based on who they think is the best, and also considering the issues at stake. Putting in place for our head justice, fairness, equity.
We don't want to be preemptive. I know first and foremost is to welcome ourselves and congratulate ourselves on the resounding victory recorded on February 25. And going forward will be what are the issues regarding the leadership of the National Assembly.
While it is highly unlikely that zoning was not discussed, the official line being told is that the topmost priority for now is winning the second leg of the general elections. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in an appeal filed by Senator Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, challenging the judgment of an election petition tribunal which nullified his victory in the Osun governorship election. A three-member panel led by Justice Mohammed Shuaibu, after taking arguments from all parties in the suit, said the judgment will be delivered at a later date. Senator Adeleke had won the said election held on 16th July 2022, but the result was nullified on grounds of overvoting. The reports.
The courtroom at the Court of Appeal Abuja Division is filled with lawyers and supporters of Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke and his predecessor, Adegboyega Oyetola, who are here to witness proceedings in the appeal filed by Adeleke, challenging the judgment of Election Petition Tribunal in Osun State, which nullified his election as governor of the state. At the resumed hearing, counsel to Adeleke tells the court that a member of the panel, who is also a chief magistrate, did not air her opinion during the judgment delivery, but only appended her signature. Counsel to Oyetola, however, argues that signing of the judgment and not making any comment afterwards does not make the judgment invalid. In his defense, however, Onyechi Ikpeazu held that results stored in the back-end server are inconsistent and not reliable, as they can be affected by internet connectivity and battery life of the beavers used to upload the results. On the cross-appeal filed by Oyetola challenging the documents of Adeleke, the court held that it has been addressed in a previous judgment as such was an anomaly.
In this respect, on the issue of the alleged forgery of a testimonial, which saw Osun State appearing on a testimonial for a person who had been educated before the creation of Osun State, the Court of Appeal held in that case that it was a simple error, that he ought to have gone back to rectify the anomaly, but not having done that, that it wasn't an issue of forgery.
That everything has gone well for both sides. All the appeals, including the cross appeals, have been heard, and we're all in court when the court adjourned the matter to a date to be communicated to all of us. Simply, for judgment.
INEC on its part insists that there was no overvoting during the Osun election.
Just as with the presidential election, you will agree that all the results have not also been transmitted. So if you get a result, a CTC today, and tomorrow another person applies, he may get a different data because the data will go is going in bits. So you cannot, because of Section 62 of the Electoral Act that authorizes INEC to update the data from time to time.
The court also reserved judgment in the PDP and INEC appeals. INEC had declared Adeleke winner of the Osun governorship election, but in a split decision of 2-1, the Election Petition Tribunal invalidated the election and declared Oyetola as winner. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Some parents and brides in Jos, the Plateau State capital, say the postponement of the governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has disrupted plans for their marriages scheduled for Saturday, March 18th. According to them, the development has made them to reschedule the marriages to other dates. Ado Musa completes the report.
It is not uncommon that marriages in Nigeria are held on Saturdays and Sundays to allow more people who are busy with work within the week to attend. Those who had planned to get married on Saturday, 18 March, were forced to reschedule their event as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, postponed the March 11 governorship and the state houses of assembly polls to that day. In Jos, the postponement of the poll has affected some marriages and cost parents a lot. Nurat Abdulhamid, whose marriage was earlier planned to hold on 11 March and later rescheduled to 18 March due to the poll, has been shifted to a later day in May this year.
My wedding is supposed to hold on the 11th of March 2023, when we were expecting the election supposed to be on 4, governorship election. So the election is now postponed. So we have to postpone our wedding again till 18th of March. Still, the 18th now, they still postpone the election till 18. So postponing the election is enough for us. So we just decide we should leave the wedding till after Salah.
Rukaya Dati, whose marriage was shifted 2 times because of the election, explains how she feels about the postponement.
Actually, I feel bad because I have started my preparations. So due to the postponement of the election, so I have nothing to say but to say that Alhamdulillah. My friends, my family, everybody feel bad, but we have nothing to do.
Parents of Rukaya, who plan to have the marriage of their daughter on the 18th of March, but change it to the 21st said the situation has cost them a lot.
You know, everything is planned according to the will of Allah. This marriage is supposed to take place since on the 11th of March. But due to the election, we postponed it to the 18th, not knowing that the even 18th will be that election day. So we have already printed card, paid for souvenir, paid for halls, hotels for my guests and everything, not knowing that the election will not hold that day. So I have to go and reschedule my arrangement and arrange with the hotel owners and the souvenir to print another IB to let people understand that the marriage is going to take place on the 21st of this month. The shipment, the election cost me a lot, but there's nothing I can do because I believe that is the will of Allah.
The marriage was earlier fixed for 11 March, but later changed to 18 March and now changed to 21st. We have made all necessary arrangements, but right now, there's nothing we can do in the circumstance other than to bear with the situation. It has been permitted to happen. It is the will of Allah. Rukaya, whose marriage is rescheduled to hold on 21st March, is hopeful that the new date will not be changed again. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And insecurity, police in Bauchi State have declared a member representing Bauchi Federal Constituency, Yakubu Shehu, wanted, placing a bounty of 1 million naira on him. Shehu was elected lawmaker on the platform of PRP, but later defected to APC. A police bulletin released by police spokesperson SP Ahmed Wakili said the Nigerian police force, under the authority of the Inspector General of Police Usman Baba, had declared the member Yakubu Abdullahi Shehu wanted in connection with a case of criminal conspiracy, causing grievous hurt, inciting disturbances of public peace, and culpable homicide. It said the security agency asked anyone with useful information about his whereabouts to contact them, promising a 1 million naira as a bounty on the lawmaker. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we take a look at how 66-year-old mentor porters at Grain Market. Details on this and more after the break. Stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. And here is a recap of our top stories. We brought you how Abuja residents rejoice as CBN breaks silence, says old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes remain legal tender till December 31st. An APC national leadership meets new lawmakers to strategize on 10th National Assembly. Now moving on to more stories, the National Youth Service Corps NYSC has expressed dissatisfaction over the unauthorized use of its uniform, logo, lyrics, literature, and other intellectual materials. It said the scheme remains apolitical and neutral in the ongoing political and electioneering process, and these unregulated materials continue to portray the NYSC in bad light. In a statement issued by its spokesperson, Eddie Megwa, the scheme said it will henceforth initiate legal action against any individual or group that contravenes the provisions of the NYSC Act as regards to the use of the NYSC uniform. It said Section 14 of NYSC Act clearly specifies that any person who, not being a person serving in the service corps or duly authorized so to do, wears the uniform or any part of the uniform of the service corps, is guilty of an offense and liable on conviction to be fined of 1,000 naira or the imprisonment for a term of 6 months or both. Such fine, the fine and of course the imprisonment. The goods could not move without the energy and labor of porters at northern Nigeria, grain markets. They help merchants convey their goods to various destinations to put food on the table. Trust TV Ibrahim Suleiman meets a 66-year-old leader of grain porters in Bajoga, known as Sarkin Dakwon Bajoga in Gombe State, on his successes and struggles. The report.
The 66-year-old Abubakar Sarkin Dakwon Bajoga has been conveying bags of grains for over 45 years. Abubakar's outstanding performance and success as a laborer earned him the title of Sarkin Dakwon Bajoga, Funakai local government area of Gombe State. In addition, he built house and sponsored his children's education from the proceeds.
I achieved a lot. I have provided for my family and children from the proceeds as a laborer. I am successful. In those days, we were paid between 2 naira 1 kobo to convey a bag of grain, to a time when we received 80 naira per bag.
The 66-year-old said hundreds of youth also make fortunes from the job, calling on governments to support them.
Empty promises are being made to the poor, but there is no light at the end of the tunnel. We never receive any assistance as laborers.
a ce hukuma ga wannan abu ta dauka ta taimakawa talaka ba a cikin leburori.
We only support ourselves. At times, we contribute money to support a member who is in need, but we hope the support will come one day.
Having worked for 45 years, the Sarkin Dako has retired from the job, but he still mentors young members of the Ndako group at the Bajoga Grain Market. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
In education, the Minister of Education, Adamu, has called for the promotion of unity, love, peace, and prosperity as the foundation of development for the country in particular and the body of Commonwealth nations in general. The Permanent Secretary Minister of Education, who represented the minister, disclosed this at the ministry's Commonwealth Day celebration themed Forging a Sustainable and Peaceful Common Future. Noel Samson was there and now reports.
The Commonwealth is an association of countries across the world. Although historically connected to the British Empire, any country can apply to be a member of the Commonwealth, regardless of its intersection with Britain's colonial past. It consists of 54 countries, including the United Kingdom, hence the importance of the celebration.
We all know the existence of peace in any space of human aggregation or nation translates to progress, wealth, and tranquility. It enhances positive outcomes in trade, investments, human rights, democratic governance, quality education, digitized learning, and most importantly, entrenches equity and equality, which in Nigeria and most developed nations means empowerment of youths, women, and the girl child.
As you've been told, Commonwealth Day is an annual celebration observed by people all over the Commonwealth in Africa, Asia, the Caribbean and Americas, the Pacific, and in Europe. This year's theme for the Commonwealth Day 2023, again as you've been told, is forging a sustainable and peaceful common future. I believe that this theme is apt.
The significance of the Commonwealth as an organization was re-echoed by some dignitaries as a reminder of the ideals that cement their relationship.
The Commonwealth remains the largest gathering of nations and their colonial masters that has evolved into a partnership where all members from all the colonial masters themselves to the most advanced members and the least developing ones work together to ensure development within each member country.
The theme today, forging a sustainable, peaceful and common future, is very apt and relevant. This is because we, the 56 countries, have to work together. We have to connect, innovate and transform together. Connect through values of democracy, respecting diversity, and above all working towards a sustainable future for all of us, for the common good.
Highlights of the event was the conferment of the 2023 Commonwealth Award of Excellence on the Ministry of Education, as well as parade of Commonwealth Heads of Government and Cultural Dance. Wow, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And from the international scene, the death toll in the ferry disaster off the coast of Gabon last Thursday has risen to 6, with 31 people still missing. The privately owned Esther Miracle was carrying 161 passengers and crew from the capital, Libreville, to the oil town of Port Gentil when it sank in calm waters in the middle of the night. Most of the 124 survivors were picked up off Libreville after dawn on Thursday by locals in dugout canoes, fishermen, an oil barge, and a Navy patrol boat. As the search continues, grieving relatives have been waiting for 4 days at the quayside at Port Mo, the commercial harbor of the capital, for news of their loved ones. Malawi's president has declared a state of disaster in several southern districts, including the commercial hub Blantyre, after the powerful cyclone Freddy made a comeback, killing dozens. The government is already responding to the disaster while appealing for local and international relief aid for the affected families. More than 60 bodies were found during the day in southern Malawi, where heavy downpours triggered flooding, according to the Red Cross. More people are still missing. Blantyre City was badly impacted, with regional police spokeswoman Beatrice Mikua saying at least 36 bodies were recovered in the township of Chilobwe, which has been hit the most, with dozens of houses were washed away. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust TV News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.